Good morning students, welcome to the lecture 4 of chapter 3, that is coordinate geometry. In the lecture 3 we have discussed about how to find the x coordinate, or you can say the abscissa, and the y coordinate or the ordinate of a given point representing in a Cartesian coordinate system. And today in this class we are going to find the coordinate of a given point. Okay, the coordinate of a given point means we have to find same that x coordinate and y coordinate but combinedly and write them combinedly. That is the coordinate of a given point. Okay, so here we have some points A, B, C, D, E and F, and now we are going to find their coordinate. It means we have to find their x and y coordinate and write them in order pair. Clear? So let's start with the point A. Since the point A located or lies on which axis? It lies on x axis. Okay, and our target is to find its coordinate. But as we know, if any point lies on x axis, then its which coordinate should be 0? Its y coordinate should be 0. Clear? So whenever we are going to write its coordinate in order pair form, then its y coordinate must be 0. Okay, so for A point its y coordinate must be 0, and in order to reach at this point 3, we have to start our journey from origin. Okay, this is the origin. And what is the coordinate of origin? As I have told you, the coordinate of origin is 0, 0. Okay, because the distance from x axis is 0 and the distance from y axis is also 0. That is why the coordinate of origin is 0, 0. So in order to reach at the point A, you have to move 3 units in the positive direction of x axis. So your x coordinate will be 3. By considering the sign, it is plus 3 because it is the positive direction of x axis. So your coordinate of A point is 30, or you can write plus 30. Okay. Now coming to the point B. In point B, as you can see, it lies on which axis? It lies on y axis. It means if any point lies on y axis, then its which coordinate should be 0? Its x coordinate should be 0. Okay, so for B point, the x coordinate should be 0. Clear? Why? Because it lies on y coordinate. So its x coordinate must be 0. Now what is its y coordinate? Okay. So start your journey from origin and move towards the positive direction of y axis, and you have to move about 2 units to reach at the point B. So your y coordinate is 2. Here it is plus 2 because it is towards the upward or positive direction. So the coordinate of the point B is 0, 2, or you can write 0 plus 2. Right? Coming to point C. Again, the point C lies on which axis? The point C lies on x axis. Since it lies on x axis, so its which coordinate must be 0? For point C, the y coordinate must be 0. Hence, you can write its coordinate should be x coordinate and its y coordinate should be 0. Now let us find its x coordinate. So start moving from origin towards left, that means towards the negative direction of x axis. So start moving, and here you are. So we have to move about -1 units. -1 units. So you can write -1 units. So its coordinate is -1, 0. Simple. Okay. Now coming to the point D. In all the 3 cases, A, B, C, these 3 points lie on either x-axis or y-axis. But here the point D doesn't lie on any axis. It lies on a quadrant. Which is that quadrant? Quadrant is quadrant 1. Okay. Now what is the possible sign of quadrant 1? As we know, the possible sign of quadrant 1 is plus, plus. It means the x coordinate for the point D must be positive and the y coordinate must be positive. Understood? So for this, you need to draw the perpendicular distance first. Okay, this is the perpendicular distance, this is the perpendicular distance. So in order to find the x coordinate for the point D, okay, x coordinate means the perpendicular distance from y axis to the point. So identify the point. This is the point. Perpendicular distance from y axis. This is your y axis. So this distance, okay. So this distance is your x coordinate. Now it is equal to this. So this is 2 units. So x coordinate is 2 units. Clear? It is plus 2 units. Now find the y coordinate. So y coordinate means the perpendicular distance from x axis to the point. This is the point. This is your x axis. Then this distance is your y coordinate. Confirm? So this is your y coordinate. Okay. So this distance is equal to this distance, and this is how much units? This is 1 units. And the y coordinate is also 1 unit. So the coordinate of the point D is how much? 2, 1, and both are positive. Clear? Now coming to the point E. Here also the point E lies on which axis? Y axis. Since it lies on y axis, so its which coordinate must be 0? Its x coordinate must be 0. Clear? So you can write 0, comma, dash. Dash means it should be filled up by y coordinate. Okay? Now, for y coordinate, you have to start journey from the origin and move up to -4 units in the negative direction of y axis. Okay? Towards the bottom. Bottom means negative. So you have to move how much units? You have to move -4 units. Okay? So y coordinate is -4 units. Okay? So the coordinate of E is 0, -4. Understood? Now the last point F. Okay? So since the point F doesn't lie on any axis, rather than it lies on a quadrant. What is that quadrant? This is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this quadrant 4. Okay, as you know, the quadrant 3 is enclosed by 2 axes, both are negative. Okay, so its possible value must be negative and negative. Now let us draw the perpendicular line to x axis and to y axis. Okay. So x coordinate means the perpendicular distance from y axis. This is the point, this is y axis, then this distance is your x coordinate. So this distance is your x coordinate, and this distance is equal to this, and this much is equal to -3. See, 0, -3, -3 units. So x coordinate is -3 units for point F. And y coordinate means perpendicular distance from x axis. Point, this is your x axis. Now this distance, okay, is your y coordinate, and this is equal to this, and this distance is -2 units. So y coordinate of the point F is -2. Hence, you can write the coordinate of the point F is -3, -2. Okay. So always write the coordinate in order pair form. Okay. Anywhere the point may be given, you should find its coordinate by drawing the perpendicular distance to x and y axis if it is on the quadrant. Okay. But if it is on the x or y axis, then it is very easy to write its coordinate. Okay. And now we will do some problems from exercise 3.2, where we have to find out the coordinates of a given point, to find out its ordinate as well as the abscissa of a given point, which is represented on a Cartesian coordinate plane. Okay, so let's start with the first question. So here in exercise 3.2, you have to find out the coordinates of such points B, C, D, H, L and M, which are represented on this plane. Okay, it is a Cartesian coordinate system, and there are various points, okay, which are remarked their name, and you have to find out their coordinates. Okay, so the first question is to find out the coordinate of the point B. Okay, so here the point B, and we have to find out its coordinate, and we know in order to find out the coordinate we need to draw the perpendicular distance to x and y axis. Okay, so let's draw the perpendicular distance. This is the first perpendicular distance to x axis, and this is the perpendicular distance to y axis. Understood? And now, as you know, our target is to find the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and x coordinate means the perpendicular distance from y axis to the point. Okay, if this is the point, this is our y axis, then this distance is your x coordinate. Okay, so this distance is x coordinate. Similarly, the perpendicular distance from x axis to the point is y coordinate. If this is your point and this is your x axis, then this distance, okay, this distance is your y coordinate. Okay, so this distance you can write your y coordinate. Okay, so it will form a rectangle, and you know in a rectangle this side is equal to this side. Since this distance is how much units? Minus 5 units. So you can write this distance, or your x coordinate is minus 5, and this distance is equal to this distance. Since it is 2 units, so your y coordinate must be 2 units, because it is also 2 units. Hence the coordinate of this point is minus 5, because x coordinate is minus 5 and 2. Right? Next, find the coordinate of the point C. So first identify where the point C placed. Here is the point C. You have to find the coordinates. Similarly, draw two perpendicular lines. Okay, so these are the two perpendicular lines to x axis as well as to y axis. Okay, so now you have to find the x coordinate. X coordinate means the perpendicular distance to y axis from the point. Okay, this is your y axis, this is your point. Now this distance is x coordinate. You can write this is x coordinate, and this distance, the perpendicular distance from x axis to the point, that means this distance is your y coordinate. Now it is equal to this distance. Since it is 5 units, so x coordinate is 5 units, and this distance is equal to this distance. Since it is minus 5, so y coordinate is minus 5. Okay, so hence you write the coordinate of the point C is 5 and minus 5. Understood? Coming to next question, find the abscissa of point D. Okay, let us find the point D. This is the point D, and our target is to find abscissa. What is the meaning of abscissa? Abscissa means only x coordinate. So you have to find only x coordinate. Okay, so x coordinate means the perpendicular distance from the y axis, from y axis to that point. Okay, so let us draw the perpendicular distance. Okay, so this is our perpendicular distance to y axis, and this is to x axis. But since we are going to find the x coordinate, that means the perpendicular distance from y axis. This is y axis, this is the point. Okay, so this distance is your x coordinate. Okay, this is x coordinate. Since this is equal to this, and it is 6 centimeter or 6 units, so x coordinate is 6 units. So you can write the abscissa of point B is 6 units. Clear? Now find the ordinate of H. Okay, you have to find the ordinate of H. Similarly, ordinate means what? Ordinate means only y coordinate. Okay, so for y coordinate, again draw two perpendicular lines first. Okay, to x axis and another to y axis. Clear? Now y coordinate means, or the ordinate means, the perpendicular distance from x axis. Okay, since it is x axis, and this is the point, and this one is the perpendicular distance from x-axis. So this is our y coordinate, and in this distance is equal to this distance, since it is -3 units. So our y coordinate is -3 units, and we can write that the ordinate of h is how much? -3 units. Understood? Next, find the coordinate of L. Okay, so let us find L. Here is the L, and you can see the point L will lie on which axis? On y axis. And we know if a point lie on x axis, then its which coordinate will be 0? Its x coordinate will be 0. Okay, if a point will lie on y axis, then its x coordinate is 0, and if a point lie on x axis, then its y coordinate will be 0. Okay, and in y coordinate we have to move about how much units? -5 units to reach at this point. Sorry, 5 units to reach at this point in the positive direction of y axis. So your y coordinate is 5. Hence the coordinate of L point is 0, 5. Okay. Next, find the coordinate of the point M. Now find M. Here is point M, and the point M lie on which axis? It lie on x axis. Since it lie on x axis, that means its y coordinate will be 0. Okay. And to reach at this point, you have to start your journey from this point, and you have to move towards the negative direction of x axis, and have to cover about -3 units to reach at this point. So your x coordinate is -3. Understood? So this is the coordinate of the point M. Clear? Next, point identified by -3 and -5. That means you have to find out the point which represents -3 -5. Okay, which represents -3 -5. Okay, and you can see in -3 -5, -3 is the x coordinate and -5 is the y coordinate. So it represents that you have to move towards the negative direction of x axis. Minus means negative direction of x axis. Okay, so let's move -1, -2 and -3. Okay, -3 units in x axis and -5 in y axis means towards the negative direction of y axis. Okay, minus means negative direction of y axis, that means towards the bottom line, and up to how much units? 5 units in negative direction. So let's move 5 units. See, this is your 1 units, this is your 2 units, this is your 3 units, this is your 4 units, and finally you reach at a point that is your -5 units. Okay, and at last we reach at this point E, which coordinate is -3 and -5. Okay, we can also prove it. How we can prove it? See, for this point E, the perpendicular distance from x axis is known as y coordinate, and the perpendicular distance from y axis is called x coordinate. Okay, and this distance is equal to this distance. This is how much? -3. So x coordinate is -3. Verified. Similarly, this distance is equal to this distance. This is -5. So y coordinate is -5. Verified. And finally, the point which represents -3 and -5 is the point E. Clear? Similarly, you have to find the point which represents 2 -4. Okay, the point 2 and -4. So for the point 2 -4, the x coordinate is 2. So you have to move towards the positive direction of x axis. So let's move 1, 2, positive direction of x axis. Stop here. Okay. Then this is your y coordinate, and negative sign means towards the bottom, towards the negative direction of y axis. That means towards the down. Up to how much units? 4 units. So let's move. This is your 1 unit. 1 unit. Then again, this is your 2 units. Then again, this is your 3 units. Then again, this is your 4 units. And you have to reach up to -4 units. And finally, we reach at this point G, whose coordinate is 2 -4. Okay? You can also verify it. How? the perpendicular distance from y-axis to the point. This is your x coordinate, okay, and this distance is equal to this distance. It is 2, so it is 2. So x coordinate is 2. Verified. And the distance from x-axis to the point is your y coordinate, and this distance is your y coordinate, and it is equal to this. Since it is -4, so it will be -4. Your y coordinate will be -4. So it is also verified. So in this way you can also identify a point whose coordinate is given in the question, or you can find the coordinate of a given point if the point is placed on the Cartesian coordinate system at any quadrant. Understood?